morning and I'm still stretching. Go ahead and get your stretches out. Oh. Monday mornings come too early, don't they? So I'm going to get my stretches out and get ready. Okay, I'm awake. Are you awake? If you're not awake, stand up and run in place, then sit back down. Let's get ready. All right. Today is going to be a little bit enjoyable. We're working on surveys. So what I want to do is I'm going to invent my own survey choices here. So we're going to be making a survey. We're going to practice using our tally marks to determine how many students chose which event to participate in at field day. Now, in this survey, we already have the tally marks. A lot of times we will ask the questions and then put it in, but this survey's already been taken. So let's look at this first survey. Remember this first one, when we're making tally marks, it makes it easier to count them quicker. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and make that fifth one from corner to corner. They have theirs from top right down, but I make mine this way. It doesn't really matter. So look how much easier it is. If we know this is a 5, this is like counting nickels and pennies. So 5, 10, 15, 16. So that would be 16 students. They enjoy the relay race they participated in. And then this one, we're going to count by 5s and then by 1s. Go ahead and count that. All right, let's count it together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now, because I recognize that this is 1 less than 5, I don't actually have to count it. I just can really quickly see that that's 4. So I would go 5, 10, 15, 24. Okay, this one does the same thing. See how there's 4 there? It's just missing the cross one, so you know that's 4. So you can go 5, 10, 15. 15 plus 4 is 19. So here, if we're getting ready to have a field day and we got all the entries in and we said, okay, there's 16 signed up for the relay race. So what I'm going to do, so I don't use my markers up too much, is first of all, I'm going to use this just like I did with the 5, 10, 15, and 1 more. So 5, 10, 15 is right here plus 1 more. So I'm going to mark this off like this, just because I don't want to use my marker up. So all that space. Now, if you have a crayon or colored pencil, it'd be better to color it in. So that would be 16. We can just go, notice that this one is darker. Every 5 is darker. So 5, 10, 15 plus 1 more is 16. Now I am going to color in this last one, so that helps me know the ending better. But I would color all those in. All right, the three-legged race. The three-legged race has 24 students, so we can actually just go right up to 20. Here's 25. So kind of like in a Roman numeral where you get to the 5 and then you go back 1 or 4. I'm going to go to the 25 and then go back 1 to 24. Instead of, what do you think? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That takes a long time. So go straight up 20, 25, then go back 1. That's a shortcut way to do that. And like the other one, I am going to go ahead and color this in. Just the last one to save on my markers. And time. You don't want to sit there and watch me color those in. All right, the 50-yard dash was 19 students. So we can go right to the 20 line, and then, so this would be 20 right here. This was 20. So we have to go back 1 to make it 19. Because this one's 20. Did I do that one right? 25 is this one. Yes, I did. Oops, no, I don't want to do pink on that one. I have a different color. Okay, so 19, this is 20. This line goes to 20, so that means you would color that in. So make sure you take it 1 back and go 19. If you're making a chart for an assignment or working on a project, you really need to color them all in, okay? We're just going to save time and marker by not coloring them all in. Now, what can you do? I want you to get a whole different color, and I want you to color which one you would like to do the most. I think if I was participating, I would join the three-legged race. They are so fun. So I'm going to make a different color right here, and I'm going to write me right there because that's the one I want to do. So you can do that. Just pencil it in. Which one, if you could only do one race, which one would you do? The relay race, the three-legged race, or the 50-yard dash? If you think I am so super fast, I'm going to do the 50-yard dash. If you think, well, I'm pretty fast, but I have a few friends that are faster than me, and I want to pick them to go with me, then you want to do the relay race. That's where you take turns running. You run and touch them, and we do that sometimes at school. Okay? All right, let's look at these story problems. This is so close to my name. Mrs. Wright, except for mine is Mrs. Whiting. And you know how to spell White, W-H-I-T-E, but in Whiting you drop the silent E in that I-N-G. So Mrs. Wright and Mrs. Whiting are close. Isabella, this must be your mother. This is Isabella's mother. Isabella's mother, Mrs. Wright, baked 135 chocolate chip cookies and 1/3 as many brownies as cookies for her Bible class. How many cookies and brownies did she bake in all? All right, we're going to have to do some 2 steps here. So we know that she made how many? Let's find out. The chocolate chips was 135. She made 135. I'm going to go CC for chocolate chips. Isabella, does your mom make good chocolate chip cookies? I bet she does. Now to find out how many brownies, look what it says. And 1/3 as many brownies as cookies. So that means that we're going to have to, for our brownies, we're going to have to say 1/3 of 135. Since we're saying 1/3 of 135, we divide by 3. I'm just going to make a tiny 3. So 3 won't go into 1. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 equals 12. I think I said 4 goes into 12 3 times. I should have said 13, shouldn't I? All right, 3 minus 2 is 1, and then 1 minus 1 is 0. Is 1 less than 3? Yes. Bring down the 5. And how many times will 3 go into 15? That would be 5. So this is how many brownies she made. So how are we going to know how many treats she made all together? Yes, if it's all together, we need to add. So we're going to add our chocolate chips plus our brownies. Just put a B for brownies. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8. And then 1 plus nothing. So we need to say 100. How many cookies and brownies? So we're going to say 180. 180 cookies and brownies. Unfortunately, you do have to write out cookies and brownies because you have to give the tag to the question. How many cookies and brownies? You have to say 180 cookies and brownies. All right, Mrs. Quilty, will you scroll up so I can get that bottom one better? Reach that better. Thank you. And Isabella, thank your mother for making those cookies and brownies, and tell her she can drop them off at the school with Mrs. Whiting's name on them, and I'll eat them for you. Would you like some, Mrs. Quilty?
I would love
We
some.
could share. Mrs.
My
Quilty
coffee.
and Miss Nellie. Yeah, Mrs. Quilty's out of coffee. Oh no. What are we gonna do? That coffee. We learned about in health that water is the best choice and coffee isn't, and I have water in my cup, Mrs.
But there's
Quilty.
water in coffee.
Yeah, but water is the best choice. That's
Yes,
on
it
your
is.
health test, so make sure.
That is
Oh, that
true.
was last week, so yeah, you would have known that. Liam, did you know I have a grandbaby named Liam? Some of you do know that. But Liam has 36 seashells. So this is finding the facts. We know Liam has 36 seashells in his collection. Mason, this must be someone's brother. Who has a brother named Mason? I think Ella Kate does. Mason has 5 fewer. So 5 fewer means we're going to subtract, right? Because fewer is less. Mason has 5 fewer shells than Liam. Jack has 1/3 as many shells as Liam. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to find out how much everyone has. Liam has 36. Mason, okay, we're going to put his name here, but we have to figure out what it is first. It says Mason has 5 fewer. So what are we going to do if he has 5 fewer? That means 5 less, right? Okay, so we're going to subtract. That's a little subtract mark. So 5 fewer. So 5 fewer. 6 minus 5 is 1. Bring down the 3. So Mason has 31 shells. Now we need to find out how much Jack has. Let's put Jack. Jack has 1/3 as many shells as Liam. So here's what we're going to have to do. 1/3 of, how many does Liam have? 36. Now we're going to divide. If you want to, you can just go like this. 3 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract and bring down the 6. How many times will 3 go into 6? That's 2. So that means Jack has 12. Now, how many shells do the 3 boys have? So they want to know how many they have all together, so we're going to add these. 6 plus 1 plus 2 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, and I hope that you paused it and tried it all by yourself. I forgot to remind you. I like for you to try it because when you get it right and you think it through like that, it just helps you to have more confidence in what you're doing. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake, but if you don't ever try it by yourself, then you're not going to be able to do it. So you need to make sure you're trying these by yourself first. That's kind of like trying to learn how to ride a bike. You have to try it. Sometimes you're going to fall over, you're going to miss it, but to ride a bike, you have to learn how to balance it and learn how to ride. So that's kind of the same thing here. All right, thank you, Mrs. Quilty. Will you scroll up to the back? Turn to the back of your page. Let me see, what do I want to actually practice with you? Let's do this one together. I like to do this one together because there's a 0 there, and sometimes when we have a 0, it can throw us. So let's try this one. Actually, Mrs. Quilty, go ahead and scroll that up a little bit more. I'm going to work on B, and I'm going to let them do A to D all by themselves. Okay, so 7 times 5 is 35. Now, 7 times 0 is 0, but don't forget you have to plus 3. So don't leave a 0 there. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 6 times 7 is 42. So since the 4 would be here, just go ahead and write it, 42. Now, you can erase it or you can just cross that out. We've already done the ones place, so I'm going to mark that out. And then I'm going to put a 0. We've been calling it your donut. That 0 represents the fact that we're multiplying by the tens place. So you have to have the 0 there. So 8 tens would be 8 tens times 5 tens is 40, but we already have that 0. So we're just going to go 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4, put your 0 here. 8 times 0 is 0 plus 4. What's 0 plus 4? 4. And 8 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Since you don't have a carry, you're just going to write it. And let's add. 5 plus 0 is 5. Let me turn. I'm not writing very well at that angle. 3 plus 0 is 3. 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 8. If you say, oh, I'm not sure, say your big number, then count up. If you don't have these memorized, you need to memorize them. But 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Carry. 1 plus 4 is 5, and your answer is 52,635. Now let's do the practice the average. Remember when we find the average, we're going to add them all together. This one only has two numbers. This is actually how we get your grades. 2 plus 6 is 8. 4 plus 3 is 7. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 6 plus 2 is 8. Now we count, how many do we have? 1, 2. So we're going to divide it by 2. 8,978 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 2 goes into 9 also, because say 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract. Bring down the 9. How many times will 2 go into 9 without going over? And that's also 4. 4 times 2 is still 8. Subtract with 1 left over. Bring down the 7. 2 goes into 17 without going over 8 times. 8 times 2 equals 16. Subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Is compare, is 1 less than 2? Yes. Bring down the 8. And how many times will 2 go into 18? And that's 9. 9 times 2 is actually exactly 18. So the average of these two numbers is 4,489. Now if you had maybe you say, oh, I got a 72 on that quiz, but on another quiz I got a 100. And then I had a 97. I had a 97 on another one, and we want to know what your quiz grade is. See, this one's 100. You have 2 A's, 2 high A's, and then 1 low C. So let's see, sometimes you can make 1 low grade if you still have 2 high ones. So we're just going to do this on our own. So 2 and 7 is 9, and 7 plus 9 is 16. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we're going to find out what your grade would be if this was the grades you were averaging together. We have 3 grades. So we would say 26 divided by 3 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm on the side I don't write well. 6 minus 4 is 2. Is 2 less than 3? Yes. So bring down the 9. How many times will 3 go into 29? And that's going to be 9. You know that 3 times 10 is 30. So back it up 1. 9 times 3 is 27. So your grade, we can write it as a fraction, or we can write it as a remainder. As a remainder, it would be 89 with 2 remainder, or 89 2/3. So that's almost a 90. That's almost an A. It's a B++. So that would mean you would need a little bit higher to still keep your A, because a low C plus 2 A's won't make an A. So try to get another higher grade in there to get an A. Okay, now you know how to do that. Okay, on these you're going to write the value. Let me just do one of them for you. So this is remember our place values. We have, let's look at this one. 1s, 10s, 100s, 1,000s. This is the 1,000 place. 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million. So if I'm doing this one, this is in the 4,000 place. So they want us to tell the value of the circle digit. So this stands for 4,000. You don't even need the 8 because they want to know that one. Okay, brain booster, homework, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Work hard. Be responsible students. Do your best.